Have you ever felt that the deeper your thoughts go, the more distant you become from those around you? Like every new insight you gain quietly builds a wall between you and the rest of the world. If so, you're not alone, and it's not just your imagination. Throughout history, society has often treated deep thinkers with suspicion, not because their ideas were flawed, but because they illuminated truths others preferred to ignore. From Diogenes to Kierkegaard, profound minds have been labeled eccentric, outcasts, or even dangerous. Why? Because truth-tellers don't just see the world differently, they make others uncomfortable. The root of this discomfort lies in a fundamental psychological truth. When we encounter someone physically stronger or richer, we might feel envy, but rarely do we question our identity. But when we meet someone intellectually sharper, something shifts. That encounter becomes a mirror, one that reflects not just their brilliance, but our blind spots. Psychologists call this the intellectual mirror effect. A deep thinker doesn't need to be arrogant or condescending to make others feel inadequate. Their very presence, their questions, their insights, all silently challenge the assumptions people live by. And people protect their assumptions the same way they protect their homes, with resistance. Unlike physical or financial status, intelligence penetrates to the core of who we are. We define ourselves through our beliefs, our judgments, our understanding. So, when those foundations are shaken, even gently, it can feel like a personal attack. This is why deep thinkers often find themselves excluded, not for being rude or dismissive, but simply for being. Consider your own experiences. Have you ever tried introducing a complex idea, only to be met with uncomfortable silence or a quick change of subject? That's not coincidence. It's a defense mechanism. When faced with thoughts that demand effort, most minds shut down instead of opening up. This is why simplicity often outshines substance in the public sphere. Studies have shown that in social settings, people are more drawn to confidence than competence. The loudest voice, not the wisest, often leads the room. Nuance gets lost. Charisma wins. Deep thinkers who tend to speak with subtlety and caution are drowned out by the noise. The digital world amplifies this even more. Algorithms reward what's viral, not what's valuable. Content that provokes emotion spreads faster than content that encourages contemplation. So, the internet becomes an echo chamber of opinions, not a marketplace of ideas. But why is intellectual depth so threatening on a biological level? Neuroscience gives us clues. When someone challenges our beliefs, our brains light up in the same areas triggered by threats to physical safety. In short, the brain reacts to intellectual challenges like it does to predators. It's not rational, it's survival. Human beings evolved in tribes where belonging meant survival. To stand out, especially intellectually, was to risk exile. Today, those tribal instincts still guide our social behavior. Deep thinkers disrupt the status quo, and in doing so, they disrupt the invisible rules that bind groups together. Even in modern group settings, studies show that a person seen as more intelligent is often subconsciously treated as a threat, especially if their ideas challenge the group's norms. But in private, one-on-one interactions, the same individual might be respected or even admired. It's not just what you say, it's how many people are watching when you say it. Several cognitive biases compound this issue. The Dunning-Kruger effect causes those with less knowledge to overestimate their understanding, while those with true insight often underestimate theirs. Add to that the status quo bias, our preference for familiar ideas, and you have a culture resistant to change and allergic to depth. So where does that leave the deep thinker? In many cases, on the margins, not because they chose isolation, but because the world prefers comfort over clarity. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." Insight can be isolating, but it can also be liberating. The path of the deep thinker isn't easy. It means living in tension with the world, often misunderstood, sometimes mocked. But it also means seeing beauty where others see chaos, asking questions others won't, and uncovering meaning where others see none. If you've ever felt alone in your thoughts, remember, isolation doesn't mean you're wrong. It might mean you're ahead of your time.